So I'm going to demonstrate now what it looks like when you present a PechaKucha talk that was prepared in 6 minutes and 40 seconds. So I'm from the Economic and Social Research Council, which is part of UK Research and Innovation. We fund research into social research, and my particular role is actually to help support the Industrial Strategy and the Industrial Strategy Challenge Fund, which is a major piece of funding. It's about £7 billion. All of it is aimed at boosting productivity in the UK, and there are four big pillars of that. So I'm going to spend the rest of this time talking about that, and whilst I talk, there will be 18 lovely pictures from our ESRC photo competition for you to peruse over that have nothing to do with what I'm saying, but it means that I won't be rushed by my slides, which is excellent. So enjoy the pictures. Basically, and sorry I subverted your format. Yeah. So the productivity is the core of in the industrial strategy, and really looking at the four key areas. So there's AI and data, clean growth, future of mobility, and an aging population. And I'm sure many of you can see areas where both AI specialists but also anthropologists can contribute to those. What we found over the past couple of years of the industrial strategy's existence is that the engineers and the scientists and the medics have found it very easy to apply for and contribute to projects in the Industrial Strategy Challenge Fund, and which are primarily working with businesses to solve these challenges, but that the social sciences are being left behind. And that is something that we need to change, because actually social sciences have a huge amount to offer and add value to the industrial strategy in thinking about how we can boost productivity and connect the artifacts that we're creating in the technology areas that we're working on with productivity gains. And actually, so there's a couple of areas that we've looked at, particularly which we think need to be thought about more in the next round of Industrial Strategy Challenge funding, which is just coming out right now. In particular, we'd love to see more activity around supply chains, understanding design, understanding the skills that we need to support a new economy that's based on new technologies in these domains. Also understanding society's adoption of technology, which is a really big area which I think is lacking, and it actually kind of echoes the talk that you guys had. You know, a lot of the time we create artifacts and new techniques and ways of doing things, and then we just kind of put them out there and hope that they will therefore boost productivity. But actually, there's a whole step that's needed in order to take something that can produce increases in productivity and link it up to that actual gain in productivity. So that we absolutely need anthropologists and social scientists as a whole to step up and join the project teams that are taking part in the industrial strategy to supercharge them and make them achieve what they're claiming to achieve. And in particular, you've got areas. So one of the areas that's coming out in the next couple of months is called the future of flight. And that is talking about how in the near future we're going to be living in a world where we have drones flying around in the air, unmanned, autonomous drones. We have electric planes and other kinds of single-person aerial vehicles that all have to kind of fly around and interact in British airspace, which is actually incredibly complicated when you think about the fact that in air traffic control centres, people are still passing pieces of paper around to control the airspaces. So there's a huge kind of disconnect there between, where we want to go, private companies and enterprises want to push technology forward and launch amazing drones. Amazon wants to have drone distribution of their products, but actually British aerospace needs to kind of catch up. And it's taken us engaging with social scientists to understand that there's this huge human factor, human problem, a human gap that needs to be thought about, and working with those technologists to ensure that we get where we want to be in the next couple of years. So I guess I'll kind of sort of start to conclude by saying please go onto the Industrial Strategy website. So there's the UKRI, UK Research and Innovation. If you just Google UKRI and ISCF, which is the acronym Industrial Strategy Challenge Fund, you'll find a page that explains all of the different challenge areas that are funded under the Industrial Strategy Challenge Fund. And I think the message I'd love you to walk away with from this is that social science is absolutely needed in the Industrial Strategy Challenge Fund. And just because it seems like a lot of the challenges look like they might be for the scientists, for the engineers, actually there is a role for you to play. And you know, when I've been speaking with people who are industrialists, sitting around a workshop table trying to think about how they solve these problems, the thing they say again and again is, it's the people, it's our staff, it's engagement with our customers, it's understanding the market dynamics, it's engaging with policy, it's understanding how the regulatory environment might evolve. All of these things are what I would say thoroughly in the social science domain, and that's where I think actually the biggest kind of sea change can come from, is by joining that's the social science together with the engineering. So hopefully that's some food for thought for you guys, and if anyone wants to learn more about how they can be involved in the industrial strategy, how they can work with companies to apply for grants and so on, please come and speak to me or contact. So we've got a web email box specifically for this. Is ISCF, so Industrial Strategy Challenge Fund, ISCF at esrc.ukri.org. I probably could have had that as a slide, but anyway, I'm happy to be contacted as well. My contact details are, you can find them from the conference as well. So thanks everyone, and have a good lunch, I guess. Yeah.